Hello and welcome to the Temple of Tomes with your host, Indie Comics Jones. Today is December 14th, 2021. This is episode 448, I think. Moonlight is what we're looking at today. This is number 5 coming out from Marvel. It's actually Legacy number. Let's get in there. Is it 205? Legacy 205. And I've been really enjoying this series. This issue was my least favorite of the 5 so far. Even though there was a lot that was discovered about our friend Moonlight, I just didn't love it as much as I did the first 4 issues. This comes in at a whopping $3.99. By the way, we've got a Steve McNiven cover. A very neat looking, these gigantic chain links are crushing Moonlight, and it looks like he's kind of doing that same type of thing that Spider-Man did way back in the day, where he decided to fight through it and accomplish it. So I think there's a little bit of a nod to Spider-Man in this cover. As in the story, we get the same type of thing where he must overcome the odds to prove that his desire to succeed is greater than his desire to give up. All right, like I said, I've been enjoying this. It's been a nice run. There's the Moonlight mission, which is run by Moon Knight, and he helps travelers at night get to their destinations in his neighborhood. And his area is marked out with crescent moons painted on some of the walls in there. He has taken on an I don't want to say an accomplice, but more of an employee, and she is actually a vampire, so she can only work at night, just like Moon Knight as well. So he has to be put in his sarcophagus at night. I think I said it right this time. I was having trouble with it last time. A viewer corrected me on that, so thank you very much. Let's go ahead and take a look to see who worked on this. First of all, of course, we get a little blurb here about who Mark Spector is and why he is Moon Knight and what happened to him, which is very short. The name of this particular issue is Horoscope, and we get a rundown of what happened in the previous 4 issues, very brief. So he's been helping out different people in the neighborhood and taking on a different villain each time. So it's been pretty good. There's also a mastermind that's behind the whole thing and is really out to get Moon Knight for reasons quite unknown at this point. The writer on this has been Jed McKay. He's been doing a pretty good job. The artist is Alessandro Capuccio. I hope I'm saying that right. Capuccio. The colorist is Rachel Rosenberg, and VC's Corey Pettit is doing the lettering. Cover artist was Stephen McNiven and Frank Darmarta. Sorry about that. And you go one last look at the cover before we move on. Okay. So as always in these episodes, Moon Knight starts out talking to his therapist, who's trying to get to the bottom of a lot of things. Now, a lot is exposed in this particular issue, some shocking events. First, she claims he's not opening up, and then he starts to really open up about things, about his past, about his prior relationship with God, and his newer relationship with Konoshu, and how he feels like he really blew it. And he understands about being strong, being weak, and things like that. Now we have Terry come in and start saying that he thinks soldiers behind all these weird other things that are going on. Soldier's another person in the neighborhood who he helped out, a former soldier, and he just goes by Soldier. We get the Daft Punk ad here again. So it gets deeper into deeper. So there's a lot of talking in this one. It wasn't so much action. There's a little bit of action, but not as much as you would hope to find. So it comes down to the point where there is what appears to be a double cross going on, with Soldier maybe being, at one time, being part of Hydra, and maybe he's betraying Moon Knight somehow or setting him up. It's not really clear at this point. As we move along in the comic, they go ahead to find Soldier's mother and spend some time with her to find out what's going on. And then we really get into the deep of his therapy. It's kind of going back and forth from his therapist to his case that he's working on. So, as you can see, there's not been a lot of action. We're well past halfway through it. It gets to a point where he's got to make a decision whether to save Soldier or save himself. Turns out it's kind of a setup here. And as you can see, there's not a whole lot of action, just him trying to break chains and things like that, get Soldier free. And those chains is a symbol that we saw on the cover as well. So we get a big reveal here, but I don't really want to go into it because it kind of spoils. I'm probably going to spoil issue number 6. I don't believe this is the end of the arc, so I'm going to skip the ending so you don't get the spoiler that maybe you wished for, and I'll give you a look at cover number 6, Moon Knight. Just Moon Knight, there's no side one. This was called Horoscope. Next one doesn't seem to have a name, but I'll just say at the end of this one, the mastermind behind all of the things that have been going on in Moon Knight's neighborhood has been revealed, and we'll leave it at that. So I just recommend, just not as strong as the last 4 issues. I was a little bit disappointed about that, but I do think that if you are reading these, if you get this in a trade, you won't be disappointed. If you've been reading it all along, you probably won't be that disappointed, just like, okay, maybe they're really building up for something in issue 6, which I hope they are. Hopefully this is a 6-issue arc. It may go on forever, but right now I am enjoying it. Like I said, though, this has been the weakest issue of the 5 so far. So thanks for stopping by and listening to my review of Moon Knight number 5. As always, please like, please subscribe if you haven't. Please leave comments. We'll see you next time at the Temple of Tomes. I know there's not a lot of people doing comic book reviews any longer. It seems like it's getting thinner and thinner out there. In fact, a lot of them, the guys that were doing them are now doing older comics, going back in time to comics they really loved. So it has been a little bit difficult. My situation hasn't changed too much. I am in an apartment now. We're trying to get the apartment back together. There's been a shortage of furniture. It's just like shortages on everything everywhere. So we're still trying to get a couch and also work on the house. In the meantime, try to hire some people to get moving on that. It's a full remodel on that, so I won't be in there for a while. But hang tough. I'll just try to put more videos out as I can. I'll be going to the comic book store sometimes this week. I'm hoping Not All Robots will be in, and that would be the 4th issue. Really loving that, along with Serial. Those are probably my 2 favorite. Moonlight's been pretty strong, but this issue was a little bit of a letdown. So hopefully we get something else going on in the meantime. All right, that's what I got for you. I hope you guys are doing well and getting ready for the holidays. I'm really love the holidays. Like seeing the lights, like seeing the spirit. People in pretty good moods. Looking forward to meeting up with their families and everything else, friends. Just have a kind of a good time. I went to a party last Friday and it was a blast. It's great. But yeah. You guys take care of yourself. I'll see you next time at the Temple of Tomes. This is Indie Comics Jones bidding you adieu.